Welcome back, ladies, gentlemen, and non-binaries to the radio station. Today we're talking about Poppy Playtime and specifically Chapter 5. Let me just say that I actually enjoyed watching it. I felt it was a pretty good chapter. I haven't played it yet because I'm bad with horror games and I don't know if I want to spend $20 on a game I play in 5 hours, I guess. I know it's it's cheaper than Omori, which is my favorite game. But Omori has 20 hours of gameplay, and this has 4 hours. But I did watch Astro Spiff play it, which great YouTuber, by the way. I fully recommend him. And before you ask how bad I am with horror games, I am super bad with horror games. I played through Chapter 1, but I was scared all the way throughout it. I was super scared throughout it. But I completed it on my third try because I quit the first 2 times out of fear. But anyway, I just want to talk about the new chapter. I thought it was pretty fun, but there are some main points that I want to bring up. Firstly, I just want to mention that if you think my opinions are wrong, then feel free to comment what you think and why you think that way. Because I'd love to be educated I'll bring up why I'm saying this right now. Also, for the next video, would you guys like me to talk about more Poppy Playtime? Maybe Chapter 3, Chapter 4, or Pokepark, I think I pronounced that right. Which is, an old spin-off game that I played a lot when I was little, because I just feel like it would be fun to play. Right, also, spoiler warning for Chapter 5, and probably a bit from the other games in Poppy Playtime. Sorry to keep you waiting, here's the video. The first thing I want to talk about is that the game oftentimes only feel like filler. I think I skipped 60 to 65% of the 5-hour video that I watched, but which is what I talked about earlier, because I don't want to watch 20 different versions of the same puzzle over and over again. Can't you spice it up with the puzzles? That's a problem with Playtime, I feel, is that the puzzles are just so similar. They're just the same. Also, the new pressure hand, which they got introduced, I feel like was a bit underwhelming, sadly, but it wasn't really that interesting. I felt the flare gun was a lot better, the green hand. I do like that the beginning throws you immediately into the action though, with Huggy immediately chasing you, and then he grabs the grab pack, so you have to improvise. Good. That's just a good thing. Good way to kind of restart it, because I feel like the grab pack has been very overused and it would be messy with all these different hands. I wasn't really the biggest fan of the little gremlin crawling around in the beginning that's scared of the light, because even though I didn't play it, it kind of just felt annoying. He came up, scratched you, you turn on the lights, he run away. But Giblet, however, I like that guy. I like the little goober. What can I say? Did he do anything special? No, not really. He just kind of came out of nowhere and was one of the originals. Dude, you're not OG. Did he do anything useful? Kind of. But he was there, and I liked him. I liked his personality. But I also really liked the little, Tamagotchi thing he got at the beginning that had the light and the black light. But it would have been really fun if it just was a normal Tamagotchi. It's you run away from that little gremlin thing, and then your Tamagotchi just have to eat. That would just be funny, to be honest. The character I really like though, Shumkins, I think I pronounced that correctly. He is so cute. He is such a cute pie. And the fact that he hides the player from the prototype in his, stomach mouth, just makes it so much better. And the fact, I think he was really smart, which also makes him 10 times better. The only things I felt like they could have done a bit more with is, the giant brawn and the wrong side Optimals. I just feel like the giant brawn could have come to life and start stomping all around it while, since they ate part of his insides, maybe that falls out and the player has to, avoid his feet just crushing the whole building. That would be really fun to see. Honestly, that would be really fun to see. But I feel like the Optimals was even more wasted. Because, they get introduced and you think okay, these are just Chapter 5 version of the Nightmare Critters. But they could have been better, honestly. I thought they would be that Pokemon from Generation 8, that's like a Pikachu clone which changes personality. Like, you can have them turn inside out, and one side be happy, the other side be angry. One side could be, shy, hiding, the other side could just like run at you. That would be super fun to see, and like the animations would be really cool to see. Such wasted potential. You could have done so many things, but they didn't.
Editing me here, I have another idea which I came up with after I filmed the video, and that is they could have done like in the lore that the Automos were an experiment, and the experiment was to put two kids into the same like body, kind of how Doe is with 3 people, but instead with 2 to see how they react. But because then you could have the lore of, like Golden Freddy. You could have the lore of 2 kids being in the same Automol, and that would be like gimmick that it would switch between the different kids which had different personalities. Anyways, back to the video.
I feel like this chapter was okay for people that are, really into the franchise, have played all the games, but incredible for people that are just watching it or randomly playing it. The visuals in the game are really good, and the ups of the game are also great. And if it's your first Puppet Playtime game and you're not used to the amount of puzzles and the different hand, you might find like something new, it's something refreshing. I want to also say that the lore in this one is great. It's even amazing. I love the idea of the children that are being turned into toys still following those, children videos, but with a more fucked up version. It's such a good idea, and in my opinion, they performed it really well. The girl on the TV talking to Hugin, guiding him through all the different shapes during the dream sequences, I think they are dreams, are just fantastic, and she kills the acting. She does such a good job portraying one of those educational videos for kids, and how they insert their characters into those videos are also so smart. Another opinion is not liking Lily Love braids, which I don't understand. I think she's peak. Like, I love that her hair just is so large. They're like kind of like mommy long legs, but not better. No, they're not better. But they're a bit more interesting in my opinion than just long arms. I also like how she's just crazy, and I've started to go to the extremes of being crazy, that she started talking to herself through the thing that she holds. I don't know what it's called. Like, was it called like Kid or something? No clue. Anyways. And I also really like the setting of the dollhouse that she lives in. I just feel like it's a good place to have a toy horror game. I don't know why they didn't do it earlier, but it's just great. The only complaint I have about it is her countdown thing. I mean, I didn't understand how it worked, but I did like her little game when, it was all dark, you had to follow a path, and she sang, and then she stopped. Because it was like, PJ Pugapillar, but a bit better in my opinion.
Editing me here again. Another criticism I have is that it still takes place in the same factory we started in chapter 1. Because I just feel like they could have done it a lot better than having the factory be ginormous all the way down to the earth. Because that's like unrealistic, and I'm not saying the rest of the game is realistic, but like no one would have a factory that big. Instead, they could have done like either chapter 3 or chapter 4, they could have escaped the factory, the player, and then like they feel all the guilt of leaving all the orphans, and so they find out that there's a new factory or like another factory, kind of like FNAF 1 and 2. So they go back to it, and then there's the new toy house and all the new stuff. Why didn't you do that? Why do you keep just doing the same factory? Anyways, let's go back to Past Me.
Another popular opinion was that the prototype didn't look good. I don't know if the opinion is still the same, but I cannot agree. Like, I absolutely do not agree. I think the prototype looks amazing. I'm a huge fan of its whole design, especially that large unhinged smile on his face. The whole body is just amazing, and it looks like he has been created by, the evil kid from Toy Story. I mean, he's just mashed together a bunch of body parts, and it just works. Him being a jester is also wonderful, and the crab legs are really cool. But the voice acting is what really sells it for me, because I think the voice acting is one of, if not, the best in the game. Like, he's just so menacing. I like how the voices mixes, and just everything about it, really. The scene where he enters the dollhouse is also just great, and it's animated beautifully. His kill count is great, and I actually drew him after watching the video I watched, and I plan to draw him with Pomni, because I feel like that would just be fun. They're both jesters, they're very different, but just fun, you know. But note that I am not good at drawing, so when I show you, if I show you that I'm not so sure about that, just think about that I am not good at drawing. The thing that really shined for me though was actually Kissy Missy. Why was she so good at this chapter? I mean, being able to go head to head with the prototype for a bit was so cool to see, even if she realistically couldn't have done shit. I mean, realistically, she would just try to slap him, it would have done nothing. In my opinion, I don't know, I didn't make the game, I don't know the power scaling, but that's just what I think. But the best part was definitely when she interacted with Huggy Wuggy. Oh my god, that was so cute. That was so cute. I loved it. It was so cute. I was kicking my feet back and forth like a schoolgirl with a crush. I mean, I don't like the prototype for interrupting it, but seriously, the moment that Huggy started calming down and letting Kissy touch him, and you know, the tiny hesitation before they, you know, started to interlink their hands. Oh my god. Oh my god, it was so cute. Can someone please draw that? Oh my god, it was so cute. I do have a couple of criticisms though. The plot armor. Why does everyone have such plot armor in this chapter? Kissy and Puppy are just alive, despite everything that has happened. Kissy is able to stand up with the prototype. I thought Puppy got her head snapped, but no, she's just damaged. Okay, she got damaged pretty hard, but okay. Anyway, the prototype surviving that train crash was insane, but the biggest plot armor was you. Yeah, you watching this. The player. You get stabbed, or us. The player gets stabbed through their like stomach, back, something, and dropped into that goo thing. They survive. How? Either they're like a superpower, a superhero, or they're a toy. Like, also, why do everyone else get plot armor, but not Lily Lovebraid? Excuse me? Why does my goat get plot armor? Why does she get it? Another criticism is that I didn't find this chapter that scary actually. Like, I know I'm scared of horror games, but it just wasn't that scary, and I think it's because of two reasons. One, the setting. The setting was not scary in the slightest. It was really like bright everywhere and, you know, pretty colorful, which didn't make it scary. And the only scary setting was at the beginning with, you know, these dark areas. But then you go ahead and ruin it with that little, you know, gremlin thing. Because he wasn't even scary. The Huggy chase looked like it was going to be like really hard. No, not hard, but it was light work. I think the main thing that makes the chapter not scary is that nothing sees as a threat. You don't see anyone except Huggy roam around freely. If the prototype was walking around, you know, everywhere with his scary legs, I would have been scared shitless of him. I think that's how you use shitless. But you don't. Like, you only get to see him through cutscenes and through voice lines, and then there's a chase at the end. Speaking about chase, the only part with the monsters you get are chases. Firstly Huggy, and then you have to run away from Lily, but guess what? You have to run away from the prototype as well. Like, make them walk around and force the player to be really stealthy, instead of only making chases that are either very easy, because they're a prototype, no, because they're, oh my god, very easy, because they're the tutorial, or extremely complicated for some reason. I don't know how I really feel about the ending also. I mean, I like the Doctor and I'm kind of glad to see him back, but it was kind of random, wasn't it? I mean, the Doctor supposedly got defeated in chapter 4 and tried to kill the players multiple times, but now he's found in a computer, in like a glass box, and what? We're just supposed to forgive him? Apparently. I mean, I don't even understand what happened with chapter 4. I mean, chapter 1, great beginning chapter. You know, you can see that it's like their first project. Chapter 2 does almost everything better. Like, just great. Chapter 3, peak. May even be the best chapter of all of them. But then chapter 4 comes. And it's not good. It's not scary. It wasn't that fun. Like, what happened? How do you go, like, upwards and then I guess chapter 5 is like here. I don't know. But still, that was all for this time, and I kind of want to do a new segment in my videos where I recommend music, because my channel is called The Radio Station. And so, song of the video is Darling Eye by Tyler, the Creator. Just a good song. That was all for this time. See you next time, listeners. Also, Mob Entertainment, if you give me the whole series, I may be bribed, but yeah, I probably will be bribed. Thanks for watching.